In this episode, we're going to be discussing the 2 different drivers of change. This is going to help you learn how to make decisions easier and sooner than you normally would. And we're going to talk about why it's harder to make a change when there isn't something dire driving that decision. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to episode 11.
11, I think so.
11.
Maybe not, though, right?
Can't even keep track of 11 episodes.
But I'm excited for this topic. I have been thinking about it a lot. And sometimes what I love is I've been in the self-help world for a long time. And this is one of those concepts that I remember hearing a long time ago on Tony Robbins, probably his CDs, Unleash the Power Within. A classic, still a classic to this day. And something he says often, and still says 20 years later, is when people change, they either change from inspiration or desperation. And so I think the way I would separate those 2 things is wanting to change and having to change. So here's what I've learned. I spent many years trying to change things from the want to change, and I was successful. I've made a lot of behavioral changes over my life. I would say many of those changes were surface level changes, as in I was able to change my body, I was able to change my finances, I was able to change my living situation. All those things were really external, and I was able to change them. But there was this deep internal stuff that I wasn't able to change, unfortunately. I was always working my way there and getting closer, but I wasn't able to change that until I got to desperation. And to be honest, desperation was what got me that's what got me to finally change.
I think about this a lot.
Yeah, me
because
too.
it's sad.
I know.
Because it's really sad.
Yeah.
That people wait to change until they have to.
Or that people can't change until there's desperation at play.
People literally will wait till they have a heart attack to lose weight.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes that's not enough,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy to me. But like, it's sad.
Yeah. Or, I mean, in my situation, it was really, and it's so hard because you guys know, or maybe you don't, but if you don't, I've been working on trying to heal my anxiety and my, mostly my anxiety. That's the main place that I came to it from, like, for years and years and years. And it took something so desperate for me to be like, oh my God, I have to figure this out. Like almost and quite literally like life or death type of, I have to figure this out. Like I don't have another solution here. And so, yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer when you get to that place. It's a bummer when you're in a situation where you feel like the walls have closed in and you're out of options and there's nothing you can do to make the pain go away. And that was such a hard place for me to be in. And if you guys don't know what I'm referencing, I got to a place almost exactly 2 years ago where I had chronic pain start. And in my mind, I thought, oh my God, I've already dealt with all this mental health issue. I've been battling my brain my entire life. I cannot battle my body too. And it got me to this place where it's led me to a very beautiful place. But my problem as a coach and someone who helps people is, how do I help people before they get to that place? How do I help people before they're in a desperate situation?
It's hard because the desperation becomes a driver.
and an effective one at that.
Yeah. And so it's like, how do you drive people to change without
the pain
of experiencing the thing that makes them look in the mirror and say, I can't look back.
I have to do something. I have to make a change. That's what desperation does.
Yeah.
And so when I'm coaching people, this is the way I've been noticing it lately, I coach a lot of women around, lots of things, but like burnout, anxiety, lots of behaviors they don't want to be taking from a lack of fulfillment and an inability to deal with their emotional state. And they have vices, is what I'll call them. They have numbing behaviors, coping mechanisms. We all do. Some of them overdrink, some of them overeat, some of them overshop, some of them are on their phone all the time. They have these things that they want to stop doing, but they're in a place where I want to stop doing this, but I don't have to.
Yep.
I don't have to stop doing it. And I don't really want to be the person who does this thing, but like I have been that person. And like there's the desperation isn't there. And desperation is an effective driver Not all the time, but most of the time. And so the question is, if I'm not, and this is the way it has come up for me, is like I was put in a position where I was feeling such incredible emotional and physical pain and nothing helped. There was not a medication. There was not a technique. There was nothing I could do to escape my pain. Nothing. And that is a hopeless place to be. And because of that, I had no other option than to learn to sit with my feelings and my emotions, which is essentially what I'm trying to teach people to do at a level that's not quite as desperate and in despair and then there are other people that I help and will be helping that are at that level, So it's hard to work from a place of you want to change. You don't want to live this way anymore. And do you have a good enough reason to not? And if you don't, how do you create that desire for change, knowing that it's not being driven by immense pain? It's being driven by discomfort.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Is how do you drive somebody who's not desperate?
Yeah.
That's the $1 million question.
And I honestly thought maybe I would have a better answer to even that question.
Well, you can't.
You can't.
You can't. You will change when you're ready.
Yeah. And that's something that's been it's something that's been really, it's hard for me as a coach to watch people struggle with the same thing for a very extended period of time. And I did that. I did that as well, even in desperation. I had so many conversations where people told me exactly what was going on and exactly what to do. And I was like, well, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then another person, same thing. This is what you have to do. Yeah. I'm just going to make sure that it's not this first, though. I did that for an entire year.
So if you could go back and talk to that person, what would you say?
I know. I would tell them, and I do, because I have people that I talk to all the time that are in my DMs, and I tell them, you need to stop. You need to stop trying to figure this out. You need to stop trying to get to the bottom of this. You need to stop doubting, and you need to pick a lane, and you need to stay in that lane. And they're like, they push back, and I go, oh, I get it. You're not ready. And it's so hard. So let's talk about it at the level where you aren't at desperation and you really don't have a super good reason to change other than like, I just don't want to live like this anymore.
Yeah, you only have the desire to change.
You just have the desire to change. You want to change, but you don't have to change. And my plead, and I don't know if I'll be successful in this work of pleading with people to make a change before life makes that change for you. Because it will. That's how it works. You cannot live in a chronic state of overwhelm and burnout and stress and anxiety without your body taking a hit at some point. And it's going to whisper in the beginning, and it's going to give you anxiety, and it's going to give you some insomnia, and it's going to give you tummy aches, and it's going to give you these warnings, and then it's going to go into migraines and IBS and nerve-related issues and anything you can imagine. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've been in the communities of there. It's an epidemic at this point. Your body can only hold that for so long. And I rarely meet someone who isn't living in a state. It's just a scale. You're literally just on a scale of where you're at. Are you just someone who overworks because that's where you get your worth? And you don't want to feel your feelings, so you pour yourself into your work? Are you someone who numbs out all the time? Are you like, what is your special makeup? What is it that you're avoiding? And a lot of the clients that I'm working with are avoiding a real lack of fulfillment in their life. They are not happy. They lost themselves somewhere along the way. They don't know who they are anymore. And when they get home after being really stressed out all day, they're like, where's my phone? Where's my snack? Where's my wine? But I don't want to be doing this anymore. But what do I do? I'm getting that question more than I ever have before.
But how?
But the number of times on my TikTok, someone says, okay, but how? And I'm like, I literally just told you what it is you need to do. Like, I'm so accepting of the fact that you won't do shit
What's your
until
address?
you're
Let me
ready.
book a plane ticket and fly to you so I can hold your hand through this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you exactly what I just told you in the TikTok video, just face to face.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, okay, now do it.
Yeah. I'm like, you have to stop engaging with your anxious thinking.
But how?
But how? You have anxious thinking and you're engaging with it. You're taking it as recommendations. Stop that. But how? Literally stop. And I had people tell me that on this journey. I'm like, but how do, I can't stop researching for a solution. You have to stop that. Okay, what else? You have to stop. Stop doing that. I don't want to be overeating. You need to stop. I'm drinking more than I want to be. I'm over drinking. You need to stop. And when you do stop, you're going to very quickly see what's hiding underneath it. And it's your job to learn that what's hiding underneath it is not going to kill you. And you can either do that because you want to or because you have to. There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts, and everyone wants a shortcut from me. And I'm like, as someone who has trekked through the depths of hell over the last 2 years, there aren't any. When they say the only way out is through, unfortunately, they mean that entirely. The only way out is through. And you don't have to get through. You can bob around it for the rest of your life. You can avoid, you can numb, you can distract. But so many of you are coming to coaching sessions with me and telling me that you don't want to do that anymore. But you don't know how to do something else. You know what you want to do. You don't know how to do it. And it's like, you're literally at the point where I'm like, jump, do it, take action, to act on what you know, feel it. Like, I need you to know that you can have this overwhelming desire to, I don't know, what's an urge people have to drink. And your brain can be like, you need a drink. This has been crazy. You've been so stressed out. You need this, you need this, you need this. And you can be like, I don't have to do anything with this. And it sucks. And it feels terrible. Oh my God. And I didn't die. And that's one rep and under my belt.
I'm realizing that the answer to people's questions of when they say, but how, the answer is feel it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Feel it.
And they're like, but how else? What else? How else can I not do that? It's like,
when you feel the thing you don't want to feel, the answer is to feel it and let it be there.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
And do that 100 times.
Yeah. But it's so hard because my work is such a balance of like getting back into your life and living your life and creating and, participating in your existence. And yet even that people can use as, well, I don't want to feel this. So how do I do that? And I'm like, no, you have to do both. You have to do both. And the first thing you have to do is feel. The first thing you have to do is allow. And you have to develop your own belief and testimony that what you have urges to do, like those urges won't kill you. They won't hurt you. You can exist with them. It could probably be a whole nother podcast, but something Ryan and I have been talking about a lot is about like the fact that there's so many different directions I could go with this, but we have insulated ourselves so much against any discomfort that we are borderline unable to feel discomfort at any level now. You know why this can go in a different direction? Because none of us are actually comfortable. And that's what's crazy. So stay with me. We're not comfortable. We're all like, we're all dying inside as we have made our outside lives as comfortable as we can. All day we're like avoiding any pain and we're avoiding any threat and we're avoiding any feeling bad. And we're getting our packages in 3 hours and we're driving through a drive-through and we can get a drink and a snack and anything we want within 30 seconds. So that anything that makes us feel anything bad, we're like, something is wrong. We need to fix it. What do I do? Do I meditate? What do I do? Go on a walk? How do I make this go away? Bro, we have no ability to feel anything anymore.
You don't have to. You can just scroll on your phone all day.
Yes, and you can. But what people are realizing is they're like, no, that's not even an option either. That's not even an option either because that's making, in this quest for comfort, we have never been more uncomfortable. In this quest for ease, things have never felt harder. It's a mess out there. It's a mess. And I'm in the business of helping people change and helping people transform. And they want to do that effortlessly. They want to do that without feeling anything. They want to do it. They get right to the point where they need to take a step into the unknown. And they're like, but how? I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it. And I know what I want to do instead. Now what? I have no hack, and anybody who says they have a hack for that, they don't. They're lying to you to get your money. There is no hack. My job in life is to help you realize that you don't need to be afraid to feel. So a big caveat I've been giving lately is like, you think it's going to be bad. It's not going to be as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
Because I have had that experience over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh, something I said to someone the other day, I think my friend, I was like, it was bad, but it wasn't awful. And I'm like, I am becoming so resilient with like, yeah, I didn't enjoy that conversation, but it wasn't terrible. It definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm like pleasantly surprising myself at how not awful these things are, because I am developing a tolerance and a resilience to deal with what life throws you. Life throws you shit. And and that was what happened to me. I was so living in this anxious state and living in the catastrophes. Is that the word?
I think so.
In my mind of made up scenarios and what's the worst thing that can happen? And I was catastrophizing everything. And then I had a real life trigger and I was like, I have no capacity for this. I literally believed I can't handle this. 100%. I was like, I can't do this. And that was the beginning of me realizing like, oh, your system has no capacity to handle any discomfort at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm just circling back to what this podcast is about. And so the way that I coach people around this is like, you really have to look at your story of why you want to do this and know that like, you probably don't have a good enough reason to do what you've got to do. And it is a harsh truth. It's like, I don't think it hurts bad enough yet.
You're not ready.
And you're not ready. And like, it is hard to decide to be ready for something when you're like, well, what have I got to lose? Like, it's not a life or death situation. If I want to drink every night when I get home from work, who cares? If I want to eat a little bit more, sure, I'm going to gain some weight. But like, ultimately, is there really a good enough reason to not do this? And I'm like, you guys have to cultivate your own good enough reasons, because left long enough and swept under the rug long enough, there'll be a reason. It'll either be because you gained 60 pounds or you had a heart attack or all of a sudden your body is screaming in chronic pain or chronic illness. It's coming. I just really want to help people because I also believe that I was lucky that I stopped this train when I did, because it was headed in an even worse direction. It was headed, when these things get worse, it's like full body shutdown. And I think I want to be part of the voices that are bringing this to people's awareness, because like I told you yesterday, I was like, people will have raging anxiety and then have IBS and think they have nothing to do with each other. Like, we don't even know the connection. We haven't even dipped our toes into it. I had no idea what is possible when you live in a chronic state of stress and anxiety.
Most people have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course. Yeah, I know. But I think that they can put the pieces together. I think more people know what I'm talking about than they think. They just haven't. No one's ever made the connection that their body and things that they consider normal, like their daily headaches or their, stomach that can't tolerate certain foods, or that they're getting more and more sensitive to the world around them. They don't think it has anything to do with the way they schedule their workload or the way they run their household or the way that they live inside their own mind. And I just want to tell you, it's of the utmost importance that you understand the connection between the mind and between the body. It's bigger than I think any of us can even imagine. And when you have a lot of, I feel like one of the starting places for all of this is the habits and the behaviors that you don't want to be doing anymore. And you're like, why can't I get off this goddamn phone? Like, what is going on? And then we're like, I need to deal with the phone stuff versus deal with the feeling stuff. It's like phone instead of feel, eat instead of feel, scroll instead of feel, drink instead of feel. That it's all information for you guys. And I just want you to know it's going to be harder to make a change because you want to. But it's funner to make a change because you want to. It's not fun to make changes because you have to.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make a change because you want to, you better have a juicy ass story of why it's part of who you want to be in the world. I don't want to be someone who can't feel her emotions. I don't want to be someone who disconnects from her kids for 4 hours a day on her phone. Like, I had to look at myself in the mirror. All of that stuff was part of my story too. I don't want to deal with my problems this way. I realized I have no resilience. So if anything, I want you to check in with yourself and I want you to give yourself a resilience score right now. How resilient are you when it comes to life? when it comes to traffic, when it comes to your job, when it comes to your kids, when it comes to unknown things, unexpected things? How do you handle those things? If you don't handle them very well, there's a very good chance that your baseline that you're living at is much, much higher than you think it is.
You mean by baseline?
By baseline, I mean like your general like stress level that you live at. Like some people's are low. Most people these days is not low. Like I don't think I'm speaking to some like niche part of the population. I think we have a general unawareness problem. And you know how I love bringing awareness to problems people don't know that they have, unfortunately. But there are a lot of people who do know that this is a problem and know that you're going to most likely have to work through some of your own like mud before you can get to the designing your life part of the process. And I don't think people do that. A lot of people want to jump straight to the mindset, straight to the story, straight to the behavior change. But if you're not taking time to do the real work, which is the whole point of this podcast, and realize that it's not really about the alcohol. It's not really about the food. It's not really about whatever is presenting on the surface. It's about when you have these desires to do these things you don't want to do anymore, you choose the comfort of the present moment and answering that urge with the thing over the long-term comfort of knowing that you're resilient and you're not at the mercy of every suggestion your brain makes. Hey, you seem really sad. You should go pour a drink. It's a recommendation from your brain, and it's based on the fact that it doesn't want to feel the sadness. And the more we give into that, the more we wire that. You have to be willing to feel. So before we come up with other things you can try or do, I want you to really focus on how good am I at feeling discomfort when it comes up? And if there's a skill that I could sell anybody on, it would be the willingness to sit with what comes up, because it makes you unstoppable. Because why? It takes away your fear of negativity. It takes away your fear of the bad feelings. We have zero tolerance for, we do anything we can to avoid feeling. And then we try to solve the way it presents. We try to solve the anxiety. We try to solve the overeating. We try to solve the over drinking. Like we get so focused on that. It's like, that's not even the problem, dude. You're meeting me on level 3. I need you to get it down on level 1. You won't feel your negative feelings. That's why you're giving into your urges. And more importantly, that's why you can't stop doing that thing. That's why. That's the answer. You can't stop because you're not willing to get in at level 1 and do the root work. Because the root work doesn't feel good. But like, I can't other than having tools to manage your mind and your thinking and your perception, because that is a top tool that I teach and that I advocate for. The other top tool that I teach and advocate for is learn to feel your fucking feelings. You have to. If you don't, you're going to be running in circles forever. And don't tell me, okay, but how? But how? Stop doing the thing that takes you away from feeling the feeling. That's your starting place. But how? Stop drinking. Stop eating. Stop scrolling. Stop exercising. Stop working. Stop everything you're doing to avoid how you're feeling. That's your first step.
You find the negative emotion and you lean into it.
Yeah. And you're like, what does this feel like? And I'm telling you, it gets easier and easier to the point where like, I'm on a dangerous edge of acceptance of anything that could possibly happen.
Which is crazy considering your capacity 2 years ago.
1 year ago, 6 months ago.
Microscopic capacity Maggie had.
I had none. I was always on that edge. My stress bucket was always already slightly overfilling, that anything that happened pushed me right over the edge. And I'm like, I have no capacity to deal with anything. So I would hop from overwhelmed, which was my baseline, to like absolutely hopeless despair like that. What I was hit with knocked me so far away from that bucket into outer space of what the hell am I going to do about this? But I want you guys to learn sooner than that. I really want you to learn sooner than that, and to realize, feel your feelings now. Feel them while you have the choice to want to make that decision before you are at the point where you have to, where you're like, the only way out is through, and I'm so far deep in this hole that it's going to be a lot harder of work. And what's waiting for you on the other side is like having an intrusive thought. Like we were in Minnesota, and like I was riding a roller coaster, and I was like, what if this thing goes off the rails? And my response to thoughts like that are, then I was meant to be obliterated in a roller coaster. I don't like, what am I going to do? I'm already on it. Like and because of that very quick acceptance, it's like,
you were able to enjoy the ride.
It just fizzles out. Yeah. I'm like, I want to sell you on a capacity and I want to sell you on resilience. And that's kind of hard to do in this day and age because everyone else is selling you on quick, shiny stuff. They're like, stuff, this things. And I'm like, dude, things and stuff got nothing on resilience and capacity, dude. I've never created a better gift for myself than resilience and capacity. Never. Because I get to enjoy my life now. I'm not afraid of everything. I'm not scared. It's like, use your bad habits as information that you're moving in the wrong direction. Make those decisions because you want to, because you're like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Not because you have to, but because it's going to make your life a lot better. And it's such an entry level way to be like, this is a really good opportunity for me to feel what's underneath this desire to do this thing. And you lean into it and you feel it. And the quickest way to start feeling your feelings is take away the stuff that's buffering you from them. Anything you're doing to make yourself feel better, stop it. I want you to feel bad. I want you to feel terrible. And I want you to see that you're okay so that the next time you're like, I'm not afraid of this.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of this.
That's how.
Just imagine how much, and you probably aren't even aware of this yet, but maybe if you start paying attention, like imagine how much fear you have of fear. Imagine how much anxiety, how much fear you have of anxiety. Imagine how much fear you have of feeling lonely. You have no capacity to feel it at all. And I want you to imagine what life would be like if those things could come up and you're like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care at all. I guess so. If it happens, it happens. I guess so. I'm feeling lonely. Maybe I should go to work to solve the loneliness. How do I want to be less lonely in life? You will be unstoppable. You will have the ability to enjoy your life and to not get sucked into these rabbit holes of, what do I do with this feeling? You feel it. You don't need to do anything. How do I make this feeling go away? You don't. You feel it. It'll go away when it's ready. It's an art. And as someone who spent a lot of time in this space of self-development, self-help, I'm telling you, this is the biggest bang for my buck. And I want to teach people how to do it because it opens up your entire life. And it gives you the comfort that you want. Like the way you guys are trying to get comfort and peace right now, it's not working. And I think that's what everyone's waking up to. They're like, this is too much convenience, too much at my fingertips. It feels yucky. Yeah. So act from inspiration, act from the desire to want to. Don't wait until you're hopeless. Don't wait until you're in the pit of depression and despair and anxiety and absolutely lost to be like, oh my God, I have to make a change. Make a change sooner than that. It's going to be easier. You guys want ease. Do it now. All right, we'll see you next week.
See ya.